Hi, everybody, welcome back to Ox Talks. It's Sunday, January 21st, 2024. Thank you all for being here. I appreciate you watching these videos. I would ask that you please subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. Hit the thumbs up button and the bell notification. Please share these videos with your family and friends. Post them on social media. Let's continue to get the word out about the failing economy, the failing consumer, and what is actually unfolding starting this year. Will continue this year into next year with the economy, with geopolitics and everything else that we're being bombarded with every day. So once again, appreciate all of you being here. I intended to get a video done yesterday, but we were taking some things back to our storage unit from the holiday with the family, and the day just went real long. Didn't have an opportunity by the time we got finished yesterday evening to get something recorded. I was also trying to get something done with Jeremiah today, with JB. We had some plans, but I had to do some other stuff, so it just did not come together today. We're going to keep working on that. Someone posted in the comment about whether JB and I are still friends. Absolutely. We talk every day. We share thoughts. We try to analyze what's going on and exchange information and perspectives on things. So absolutely, but we all have our own schedules, our own things to take care of on a daily basis. But we will get something up pretty quick. And likewise, I will get another prepping video done quickly to continue that next step. We talked about the get home bag, and we're going to keep breaking these things down because, I'm going to share news with you today, but it's also about solutions and coming up with things that we can do to better fortify ourselves as individuals to protect ourselves and our family from financial issues, from other things that impact us, grid down situation, an economic collapse, all these kind of things that we hope aren't going to happen, but things do happen in life, and it's better to be prepared, better to have some insurance in place so you can be able to address it from a perspective of calm, prepared, collected, and focused. And if you don't have certain things in place, if you haven't paid down debt, if you haven't worked on fortifying your food supplies, your food reserves, ways to obtain and filter water, your water reserves, security, ways to protect what you have and yourself and your family. All these things are very, very important in addition to having some monetary resources set aside, having some assets, having some, I'm a big proponent of gold and silver, having some assets that also are outside of the system that give you some flexibility. With that being said, I want to continue discussing because a couple articles I saw today about the faltering consumer. The debt levels in this country continue to rise for our consumers and our citizens, and the banks don't want to help this process. The banks and other third-party entities come up with ways that people can continue to finance their lifestyle, to buy things they really don't have the money to buy and should not be buying. We've discussed this before the holidays, this buy now, pay later programs that are now becoming wildly popular. And there was an article I saw today on CNBC, just came out a few hours ago, that discusses this further. And I think it's a slow-growing cancer. We know about the credit card debt. We know about the interest rates that are choking the consumers. We know people have tapped out their credit card lines. They're carrying multiple credit cards. They're buying things they shouldn't be buying, and they're running up debt. But this buy now, pay later issue is something we really need to, from my perspective, keep a watch on, because I think it is very, very dangerous, and it's I think preying on people that are susceptible to this. Well, it's not really a credit card. It is, I'll buy it now, make a few payments, and it'll be paid off. But people are getting into trouble with this. and they're not really reported like credit card data and credit card debt, as I'll share with you in this article. And that's very scary. It's kind of like a phantom setup, if you will, or a phantom segment of the debt that's being accumulated in this country by the consumers. So this article says the buy now, pay later holiday debt hangover has arrived as consumers wonder how they'll pay the bills. And we discussed the level of spending that happened from November through December, the holiday season in this country, and the numbers were off the charts. We know that. It says the article says the surge in use of buy now, pay later comes as credit card debt hits a record high, and delinquency rates have nearly doubled over the past 2 years. While delinquencies were at historic lows during the pandemic, the rate of people who have gone more than 30 days without paying their credit card bill recently topped pre-pandemic levels, according to the Federal Reserve. It's tough to say how buy now, pay later fits into the country's overall debt picture. Providers that offer the service don't typically disclose how often those bills go unpaid, and the debts aren't reported to credit bureaus. Klarna, PayPal, and Affirm all declined to share buy now, pay later delinquency rates with CNBC. That is very, very telling. It's very, very interesting. It says the opacity surrounding the novel service, buy now, pay later, has created so-called the phantom debt phenomena that has left economists, regulators, and even shoppers concerned about the effect it could have on the economy. It says, it's a quote, it's just the nebulous cloud of debt. Nobody really knows how it works, and it's just floating around all of the time, and definitely feels like a pending housing crisis, almost like 2008, but for shopping. This one person said. The article goes on to say the credit card spending, debt fueled an online spending that topped out at $222 billion from November 1st through the end of December of 2023. So during the season, buy now, pay later usage hit an all-time high, rising a staggering 14%. From the prior year and contributing to $16.6 billion of the online spending. On Cyber Monday alone, buy now, pay later use spiked nearly 43%, the article says. Sales, especially online sales, were probably juiced to some extent because of buy now, pay later usage, said Ted Rossman, senior analyst at Bankrate. A lot of people are drawn to this financing as an alternative to something like a credit card where the average interest rate is a record 20.74%. But he says, I would still caution that you still can get into trouble with buy now, pay later. It can still encourage you to overspend and kind of trick yourself. And it closes by saying it's unclear how often buy now, pay later bills go unpaid. The people who use them are more than twice as likely to be delinquent on another credit product, such as a car loan, personal loan, or mortgage, according to a 2023 study from the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. People who use the service also tend to have higher balances on other credit products and lower credit scores, according to the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. Well, it's also because the consumers that are using these buy now, pay laters have already tapped out their other credit card lines. And so they go online, they have this option, they click, okay, we'll pay it over 4 payments, but we're not getting the real information on what the rate of default is on this. So it's a segment of the financial let's say backdrop right now in this consumerism economy that we need to pay close attention to. I'll keep mentioning it as I see information. The next article I wanted to show was from out of Newsweek yesterday. It talks about the suffering index, Americans suffering at rate rarely reached. Look, some of this stuff is not cheery. I understand that. but it is the reality of what's happening with the economy, with the consumers. And we need to have our feet planted on the ground. We need to know what's going on. There's no sense on having our head in the clouds, no sense, in living in a world where we think that everything is going to be fine, and that just because the sun's going to rise tomorrow, that we keep on without changing habits. We talk about this with regard to diet. I won't digress too much. I'll deal with that at the end of the video. But in terms of making good habits, spending what you can afford, saving some money, put back some savings, and some money for a rainy day, because the rainy days appear to me to be increasing, and they are coming, folks. So this article says Americans are suffering. Sorry, I have Milo here. He's kind of whining today a little bit, so I don't know what's going on. We just went outside. You all right? So Americans are suffering at a level that has rarely been seen, according to a new survey. The percentage of Americans estimated to be suffering was 4.3% in the fourth quarter of 2023, according to the Gallup National Health and Well-Being Index. It says it was the fifth time in 6 quarters since the second quarter of 2022 that the number of Americans who evaluated their lives poorly topped 4%, a level that has only rarely been reached since 2008. And again, go back, if you weren't living through the great financial crisis in 2008, go back and look at that. Things were really, really bad in 2008, and then that accelerated and it got even worse in 2009, 2010. So the average rates in both 2022 and 2023 both exceed levels of suffering measured during the Great Recession, according to this Gallup poll. It says, meanwhile, the percentage of Americans who evaluated their lives well enough to be considered thriving was 52.1% in 2023, beating only the Great Recession era between 2008 and 2009 of 50.2%. And the first 9 months of the pandemic in 2020, when it was 50.2%. Between 2015 and 2019, when there was steady economic growth, and in 2021, of course, when they were giving out a bunch of free money, when the economy was recovering from the pandemic, more than 55% of Americans said they were thriving. It says the survey was conducted between November 30th and December 7th of last year among 6,386 U.S. adults. So, look, you can hear all day long about the stock market's up, so things must be going great. But the Main Street is suffering. The people that are having to put food on the table are struggling and are suffering. It says the ones that said they were suffering were more likely to report lacking food and shelter, more likely to have physical pain, stress, worry, sadness, and anger, according to this poll. I think we probably have a lot of that around this country. I think tempers are short. I think people are feeling general malaise. We have higher depression rates than we've ever had. We're at all-time highs for depression. Suicide rates, I've discussed this on a video before, are going up. So we just need to look at everything happening and do our best to fortify our positions, to continue to save some money, to continue to improve our physical conditioning. And I'll close with this today. It was a day off for me today. My workout class was canceled, but I still got on my treadmill for an hour this morning. I got an hour of brisk walking in on an incline just to keep moving. So I hope all of you are taking the opportunity to avail yourselves of some workouts, some getting your steps in. Please look at strength training, do some weight training if your body allows it, if your limitations are not such that prevent you from doing weight training. And please watch the diet. All of us have to be careful with that. It's easy to kind of fall off the cliff and start getting into things that just aren't good for us, a bunch of sugary things, a bunch of carbohydrates. I'm not anti-carbohydrate. I think you got to have some of that, especially if you are working out. going, no carb diet. Again, I'm not a nutritionist, I'm not a doctor or a dietitian, but for me, with my levels of exercise and activity, I need to have some carbohydrates in the diet. So I hope all of you will enjoy the rest of your weekend. And office is busy this week. I'm preparing for an arbitration. I have to get a bunch of documents filed and submitted with the arbitrator by Tuesday. Then I have to shift gears and prepare for a deposition I'm taking on Friday. It'll probably be a 7 or 8 hour deposition on a construction dispute. So crazy week at the office, but I will get videos up throughout the week as usual. All of you have a great Sunday night. Again, thanks for watching. Bye.